Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're here, you're probably asking yourself some big questions about sexuality, relationships, or maybe even your own feelings. Well, I'm so glad you found this space because this is where we dive deep into topics that don't get talked about enough. In today's video, we're tackling a burning question that has been on the minds of many people. Why are more men choosing men over women? And trust me, this isn't just about physical attraction. It's about emotions, connections, and the freedom to explore one's true self. You might be surprised by some of the answers, and you might even recognize your own feelings in what we talk about today. So, whether you're here for understanding yourself, learning more about bisexuality, or just curious about what's really going on, stick around because we're about to break it all down. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth content like this. Let's get into it. Let's start with something that's become a lot more visible in recent years. Bisexuality. We're living in an age where people are starting to recognize that sexuality isn't just a simple black and white issue. There's a huge shift happening, where more men are acknowledging that they don't have to choose one gender over the other. In fact, bisexuality is no longer something that people need to hide or feel ashamed about. Men who once might have thought they were straight, or even struggled with their feelings toward other men, are now coming to terms with the idea that attraction can be fluid. And this is a really important thing to realize because it shows that being with a man isn't about rejecting women. It's about feeling a deeper connection to someone who aligns with your needs, desires, and emotional world. This growing recognition of fluid sexuality allows men to explore a broader spectrum of attraction without the fear of being labeled or judged. And that's what's making it easier for men to acknowledge their feelings and experiences in a relationship with another man. Now let's talk about something that affects men in almost every relationship: traditional gender roles. We all know that society has had very rigid ideas about what it means to be a man, what they should want, how they should act, and who they should love. For many years, men have been told that they're supposed to find their identity in their relationships with women. This has made it difficult for men to explore other sides of their sexuality without feeling like they're breaking the rules. But as times change, these roles are starting to loosen up, and men are feeling freer to express themselves authentically, including when it comes to their attractions. Imagine this. In a relationship with another man, the pressure to fit into a traditional masculine role is often lower. You don't have to constantly prove your masculinity in the way you might have to with women. Some men find it easier to express themselves, their emotions, and their needs without worrying about living up to gendered expectations. When these barriers come down, it's easier for men to form authentic connections with other men. And that, in turn, might be one of the reasons why more men are gravitating towards same-sex relationships. Let's talk about emotional connections for a second. When it comes to relationships, we all crave that deeper level of intimacy, the kind that allows us to be fully vulnerable with someone and not feel judged. But here's the thing. For many men, the emotional connection with a woman can sometimes feel complicated or even restricted by those same gender roles we just mentioned. It's not that they don't love women or can't connect with them. It's that the way men are expected to behave can make it harder to open up emotionally. In contrast, in relationships between men, there's often more openness, vulnerability, and equality in how emotions are shared. Men in same-sex relationships may feel more empowered to express their feelings and create a space where both partners are emotionally in sync. That's why some men, especially those who have experienced a deeper emotional connection with other men, find that these relationships bring a sense of authenticity and fulfillment they might not have had before. It's not about choosing one gender over the other. It's about finding a partner who allows you to be your true, authentic self without any pressure or fear. We also can't ignore how much media representation has played a role in changing the conversation. Over the past decade, we've seen more LGBTQ+ representation than ever before, and that's made a massive impact. Whether it's a bisexual character in a TV show, an actor coming out publicly, or influencers sharing their experiences on social media, it's all making a huge difference. When you see people living their truth openly, you start to feel more comfortable doing the same. And for many men, watching these stories unfold in the media might give them the courage to embrace their bisexuality or explore relationships with other men, even if they've been in heterosexual relationships before. Media has normalized bisexuality and fluidity, allowing men to see that being attracted to both men and women is completely okay. It's not a phase, and it's definitely not something to hide anymore. Seeing this kind of representation means men no longer have to feel like they're walking alone in their journey. Here's a big one. Sexuality is not binary. For so long, we've been taught that you can only be one of two things, straight or gay. But we all know that's not true. Sexuality is fluid, and it exists on a spectrum. The more we understand this, the more we realize that attraction isn't always about gender. It's about connection, chemistry, and what feels right for each individual. For many men, the idea of being with a man doesn't cancel out their attraction to women. It's just another part of who they are. It's about allowing themselves to embrace the full range of their feelings without labels and without limitations. And that's where the shift is happening. More men are choosing relationships with other men not because they want to reject women, but because they realize that sexuality is about who you connect with, not what society tells you is acceptable. So, to answer the question, why are more men choosing men over women? It's not just about the attraction. It's about breaking free from old societal norms, exploring authentic emotional connections, and realizing that sexuality is fluid. Men today are realizing they don't have to fit into any boxes or choose one gender over another. They're simply embracing who they are and who they connect with. This isn't about choosing men over women. It's about recognizing that love and attraction can take many different forms, and that's perfectly okay. If you've learned something new today, or if this video made you think differently, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective on this. Until next time, stay true to who you are and love without limits.